and discussions with the Minister and the DMR, we have made this decision today. Thank you.
Well, let me take this opportunity and say to the people of South Africa, the families, and the mine workers in Lily Mine, we have come to this point where we request everybody's patience. This mission is taking a bit longer than we had expected. We have listened to the experts, and we believe that it is actually the safe option, because our primary task is to ensure that nobody gets hurt or any life gets compromised during this phase of ensuring that we get to the container and we bring the container to the surface. According to the presentation of the report, we are satisfied that this is the option that we have currently. As Mike has said, it will take some time, but everybody will be safe. And we want to call upon the nation to rally behind the affected families, the mine, and ensure that finally we get to our objective of bringing the container to the surface.
Thank you, Minister. I will now open up for questions. Could I request that you limit your questions to issues relating to the mine? Thank you. Any questions?
Hi, Carl Gineski from the Business Day. 2 questions. Do you have any timeline on when exactly this will begin? And second, is there any update just in terms of discovering or getting clarity on just why the sinkhole collapse happened, in terms of any investigations going on there? Thanks.
I'm on record of saying that over the last couple of weeks we have recognized that this incident was much bigger and more complex than we originally anticipated. I've told you before that it happened very suddenly, without warning and without expectation. We've had a number of university professors, heads of the 2 mining schools in this country, on site, and they both have been amazed at the complexity and the magnitude of the problem we now face. And if you take that into account, I think that explains why we've gone to such lengths in the last 2 weeks to solicit the opinions of very qualified and experienced people to give us the advice that we've got. And we have no doubt that the decision that we're making is the right one. So to come back to your question, we think this is going to take as much as 6 months. But as the Minister and I have said, it's a very safe option, and it's got the best chance of recovering the container and its occupants.
Simpura from ANN7. Operations Manager Mr. Mike Begg was initially very optimistic about finding life in the container when the search initially started. What's the mood looking like now in light of the fact that the probability is that they're no longer alive? And how's the future of the mine looking now for the 1,000 workers who were employed by the mine, especially since you've now said rescue operations could take up to 6 months? Will they be compensated?
Well, firstly, Mike Begg was right about the excitement that we had and the optimism we had. There definitely was communication. We were using state-of-the-art communication devices during that first week or 8 days. And after that, the communication faded, and then we had the second collapse, which we all know about. Since then, we've been on the back foot because of the complexity of the problem, and we really have a situation now where we have a good chance of recovering this thing, but the mood is somber. It is somewhat sad, but I think people have come to terms with the reality of the situation.
This one, second question.
The question of compensation?
Yes, what's going to happen to the
We are reviewing the future of the mine. Our primary objective is to retrieve the container. So in the next few days, we'll start implementing our plan to do that. But in conjunction with that, we will start to look at the future of the mine because, as you say, the people are concerned about their positions and their jobs. And while we have every intention of looking after that, we have to make a combined decision on that.
My name is Malungelo, we're from ANC. I just want to get an understanding. Is it going to take 6 months before people go underground and try to retrieve that container?
No. It's going to take 1 month. We're going to get underground within a month, and we're going to start developing towards it with a totally new entrance away from that ventilation shaft that you know about. And it's a much better option.
Sorry, Emily from Eyewitness News. Two questions. The first is a point of clarity. So this new
decline
into the mine to find the container, is this the what was drilled, the route that was drilled by that drill?
No. To clarify that, the escapeway that was drilled was to provide a second outlet in the event that we could continue the rescue operations from the existing vent shaft. Unfortunately, that vent shaft is right adjacent to the sinkhole and now is compromised. So sending people down that vent shaft is extremely dangerous and not a good idea. So while that escapeway was available, should we send them down there, that option has now fallen away. Hence our decision to go with a bold new plan to retrieve it.
Yeah. And then secondly, there were a number of investigations that were called for by a number of stakeholders, including unions like AMCU, independent investigations. What is going to happen? Obviously, the primary objective is to get the container, but is there an understanding of what kind of investigations will take place into this collapse and possibly the future of this mine?
Well, let me answer that one. We have continuously said safety in South Africa is our priority. For each and every incident, we are going to want to know the causes thereof and remedial actions moving forward. We have not turned our back on that. We have said, and we want to reiterate that fact, that our primary aim currently is to ensure that we get the container to the surface and we start with what we are supposed to do in terms of investigations moving forward. And we have also said that we will be able, once we are ready about those investigations, to tell the nation about them and tell the nation about their outcome. That is our standpoint. It has been our standpoint, and we stand by it.
Just another question, that will it be then a recovery or a rescue when we, in a month's time? But also, both of you gentlemen, maybe you can answer this question. Surely, there must be a clue as to what could have caused this collapse. I'm sure there's a clue. Can't we just, a lot of people are probably wondering what is that clue, and I'm sure you also perhaps have an idea of what could have caused this. You can.
I'm going to respond initially, if you don't mind, Minister, and then say that there is no clue. We have absolutely no idea, and all the geotechnical specialists that we've engaged in the last 3 or 4 weeks have no clue either. I must tell you, it was a most unusual event, most unexpected and very sudden. So unfortunately we can't do that, but it will be subject to the inquiry that the Minister referred to.
There's not a slight idea of what could have caused this collapse?
Absolutely not.
Our people on the ground, as we meet with them continuously, the last time we met with them was on Sunday. We are meeting with them also tomorrow. They have one message. They want to know the truth. They want to have a closure on this matter. They believe that once the container is brought to the surface, that will bring a closure in their lives. We are equally sensitive about this matter. that becomes our mission moving forward. We must indicate that as days goes by, you'll recall that this incident happened on the 5th of February. It's now over a month. And so our mission continues, that we should be able to deliver to their request and their ambition. They say to us, no matter what is the situation in that container, let's get the container to the ground and begin to have a closure on this issue. And that is our stance currently.
So was the first question. The first question was whether it's can you classify it as now officially a recovery mission?
We have said earlier on, we want to go to the container. We want to recover the container with the 3 loved ones. We don't know their situation. We can say currently that as day goes by, hopes are fading. We know that. But our mission, as we have said, together with the families, we want to bring the container on the surface and take it from there.
One last round of questions.
And then I'd just like to know, will the families be taken care of, the families of the 3 in this interim period, if it does take up to 6 months, will the mine be taken care of?
Absolutely. We've taken care of them as best we can, I think very well over the last 4 or 5 weeks, and that will continue.
No, that was my question. Yeah. That brings us to the end of our media briefing. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.